Hi everyone.
Hi. Hi.
Yes, hi. Mason wanted to say hi. Good boy. Do you want to go to your room now?
Yeah.
Okay. So, today I thought I will look at which colors I use most. So I got inspired a while ago from Anne Laure. And she is the lady behind the channel called Following the White Rabbit, which I'm sure all of you know, or if not all, then most, because she is just super fun to watch and she's a watercolorist. Now, she has done a video recently where she featured her three most kind of favorite, or was it called? I'm trying to think. Yeah, so she called her video my top 3 favorite watercolors, and she had a more of a scientific approach towards it, so not picking the colors that appeal to her from her channel the most, but actually looking at the pans and seeing how empty they actually are, because that will show you for sure of what colors you use most. And so I decided to look at my own palettes because I have a few. And actually, I was a little bit surprised with the outcome. So, if I will pull out the palette that I have been using for the Urban Sketching at Home series, which is this portable painter, it's super fun and I haven't used it in a while. Not because I dislike it in any way, but because I have thereafter created, let me just show you, 2 custom palettes. So this is the face palette which I have created right here, and some of the colors are actually repeating from the portable painter. And I have also created a second custom palette. This was just before the summer to take them with me, and so the colors here are actually unrepeated altogether, so they're different from both palettes, and that's what I have done. And yeah, so I haven't used much of this palette just because, I don't know, I have a lot of watercolors going on and I try to test new as I go as well. So that palette I'm not going to be looking at, but I will look at the portable painter because that shows you that I actually hit pans on quite a few of them. So there are these 3 that hit pan on, which are Daniel Smith, all 3 of them, and they are Indian Yellow, Quinacridone Gold and Pyrrole Scarlet. Now the other one that is very close to hitting pan is this one, which is Winsor & Newton Permanent Sap Green. I love sap greens in general, and I can't say that the Winsor & Newton is my top favorite sap green, but I do have a strong addiction to sap green as a green color. I find it very, very attractive, and I use it quite often for mixing, but also as it comes. And the reason that I won't be including this color in my top favorite is because although I had pan on here, I actually since discovered another red by Daniel Smith, which has totally replaced it, and it is the Daniel Smith Perylene Scarlet. Now I'll hold them next to each other like so, and so it's a little bit more orangey and warm toned compared to the other one, and the Perylene Scarlet versus the Pyrrole Scarlet are quite different. I find that this one is more intense, and it's, well, it has more depth in there, and also it seems to me a little bit more transparent than this one, and I love it for that reason. So ever since I discovered it, I hardly ever go to this red, but I just wanted to show you the proof that although it's hard to say in these pans here, but this is that red, and you definitely can see that it has been used quite a lot. So yeah, it's hard for me to pick those three, or shall I go with the sub green, because in this case the sub green hasn't been used that much, but in the portable painter it has. Now, so this palette I created kind of for florals, and this was faces and florals and other things as well. So it would either be the Indian yellow, quinacridone gold, and a sub green, which in this case it's the Winsor Newton sub green, or, because if I actually show you the sub green that I have used in this palette is a Daniel Smith sub green, and hopefully you can see the difference here, although I have to say this is quite a watered out swatch. The Daniel Smith is a lot more kind of earthy than this swatch right here, so don't be confused why it's looking a lot lighter actually than this one. So the Winsor Newton I find is more grassier, kind of more juicier, as opposed to the more deeper kind of foresty green by Daniel Smith. So yeah, so either I include one of the sub greens, or I do basically like that, which is my current favorite three, which is what it is supposed to be. So I think I will go with the two yellows and the red, and let's get some just swatching and just kind of mixing them around and seeing what colors I get out of them. So because I have the Indian yellow and the quinacridone gold, both by Daniel Smith, in this palette, this is where I will be using them from, because it doesn't make sense for me to use two from here and the other one from there. So, but I just wanted to let you see what my palette looks like, and that in fact it has been well loved. But there's the other thing, if you actually notice this one, this is the quinacridone pink, I believe, yes, by Daniel Smith, and this one dries a little bit funny, where it really kind of shrinks in the pan and creates these gaps. So it's basically shrunk, and that's why it looks so small, not from the usage. Okay, so if you wonder what's here on the side, I'm using this plate that I got in Dunelm, and I absolutely love it. So I cleaned it up from my last usage, and it's gorgeous looking. So I will use the center of the plate for mixing those three colors, or for, you know, diluting them, whatever. So I'm just going to go into my watercolor box, and yeah, so that's the quinacridone gold. Let's see, what's this one? Oh, that's New Gamboge. Actually, I completely forgot that I had New Gamboge. I was going to order it because I've seen quite a few people that I like on YouTube mention that that's their favorite yellow, and I actually have it here. So yeah, need to go back to it. So yes, Indian yellow, quinacridone gold, and I also have the big boy here, the Perylene Scarlet. So let's first of all look at the qualities and things like that. So this is a mixture. So Indian yellow is PY 97, PY 150. So that's the pigment info for you. And light fastness 1. And it's a series 3. Then quinacridone gold is also a 2-pigment mix, PO 48 and PY 150. So that's PY 150 is present in both, and light fastness 1, and it's series 2. And finally, Perylene Scarlet is pigment 149, so it's a single pigment. It is, where's the light fastness here? light fastness 2 and series 3. So let's have a look at them together. So I won't be squeezing these out because I have them all up in here, but I do like to keep this tray kind of dirty with watercolors because I like the colors that I have going on here. I find them quite inspiring, and so that's why I will use the plate. I'm just getting my water ready. Okay, so let's start. I'll just place the plate right here, shall I? So let's just start with mixing or looking at these colors. So first of all, Indian yellow. So I'm just going to go straight onto the plate like so, and you can see it's a gorgeous bright kind of yellow, and it's super pretty whether you water it out or just do anything with it. Really, it's gorgeous. I'm going to make a large swatches. Next one is Quin Gold, which is sort of like a deeper yellow bordering orange, but it is gorgeous. Now, I had a few of my viewers ask me whether this is the new formula Quin Gold that I have or the old, and honestly I don't know. If you know how to check that info, do let me know, because I am curious myself. I bought this probably about a year, maybe a year and a half ago, and so I'm not entirely sure whether that would be the new or the old one by then. And here is the red, the gorgeous red. Look at that. As soon as I added some water, it just comes alive. And there it is, right here. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful color. Now, this paper I'm using is not very suitable for kind of strong watercolor washes, and the reason is because it's quite thin. But it's a great sketchbook, so if you're interested. So now what I want to do is mix these two colors together. Then mix these two colors together. And then I will mix these two together. That should give us a nice orange. And that is how pretty they are. So you can get a very pretty peach, and that would be great for blush and sometimes even skin tone, depending what kind of illustration I'm doing. So now, just to show you the full intensity, right next to the actual swatch, I'm just going to go in with a pure pigment and just show you how beautifully intense it can be. So you can see it's a big difference of the vibrancy right here. A lot of water, and the less water you use, obviously the brighter it will be. Okay, so now I just want to show you kind of a wide range of colors that you would get from mixing these lovely three colors. And to do that, I'm just going to randomly pick up some of the areas and see what I can get. So here the colors are nice and dry, and you can see I've done pastels over here, very pale, beautiful, gorgeous kind of candy cotton colors, and then slightly brighter down below here. And you could create a lot more, but essentially these three colors are the mixing colors that I have mixed together, and then just all together whichever way. So you can add more of one of the colors, add more water, and then, you know, depending on what you fancy, either brighter or darker, you come out with this gorgeousness. And it really is interesting to see, because unless you lay it out like this on paper, let's see it here, so there's no distractions that way. Unless you lay it out like this, you really don't realize that this is the color scheme that you're using most. And this has been super interesting to me, actually. And yeah, if I had the green, the sub green instead of this red, I would have had a completely different mix, obviously all towards green, but it is what it is. So I hope you enjoyed this, and thanks for watching. See you soon. Mason is waiting every time to say that. All right then, see you soon.